Hello, welcome to the Trews. I'm Russell Brand. I host the Trews. Today I'm in Canada, one of the former colonies, a Commonwealth nation where you'll still find our Queen on their plastic money. We're going to talk about the royal family today because of the famous, disappointingly, boringly, excitingly named Black Spider letters. What's in the Black Spider letters from Prince Charles? What, is it a secret elite of arachnoid men that transform into spiders? Is it the web of power reaches out across all of humanity and controls us all and he's like a black widow at the central? No, he's just got shit handwriting. Okay, here are some Trews.
Over the years, the Black Spider memos have developed an air of mystery, so called because of Prince Charles's sprawling handwriting. A fierce legal battle has surrounded the 27 letters. 10 years ago, Rob Evans put in the first request. He never expected it would end up at the Supreme Court.
So in a time period that has encompassed different flavoured governments, red flavour, blue flavour, there has been a minor conspiracy to protect Prince Charles and the royal family and the establishment. It's continually said, of course, that the royals have no real power, but even that is a demonstration of power, and apparently these letters got treated as an absolute priority. And what we're looking for post the election debacle is evidence that demonstrates that regardless of what happens in electoral politics, there is an invisible thread, like a black spider's web, as it were, that runs through the heart of the establishment.
There's a lot of talk about and speculation about what Prince Charles writes to the government about, and I just think that actually we should see those letters and be able to make up our own minds.
It is funny that letters from Prince Charles are getting suppressed. I mean, the very act of suppression, like the fact that there are top secret things, the fact there are files where you've got to wait 50 years to see those files, why? Well, if you saw them, you'd be so pissed off you wouldn't cooperate. Should we start not cooperating now then? No, wait till you see the letters.
Prince Charles isn't shy about sharing his views, but there are those who believe his campaigning goes too far when he should be politically neutral.
I feel for him a bit, so he's a person and everything, but what he also is, just by the accident of the particular vagina that he was coughed out of, is an establishment figurehead, and regardless of the content of the letter or the subject of these letters, which we'll soon discover are sort of pretty, well, not trivial things, but certainly not protect the interests of the wealthy, protect the interests of the powerful, that is implicit. The interests of the powerful are safe. He don't need to campaign. No one's, even as a result of these letters being revealed, no one's saying, shall we get rid of the monarchy? Shall we strip their assets and use them for the benefit of the nation? Instead of having a symbol that suggests that we are one nation, let's have policies that suggest we are one nation.
At least 7 government departments received the notes. Paul Richards was a special advisor to a number of MPs.
It was treated as though it had come down from the mountainside and was treated like Holy Writ, taken straight into the private office of the minister, put on top of the pile.
I mean, I guess that's standard. You wouldn't put things at the bottom of a pile. That'd be a whole weird system. But you should flip the pile so the oldest... I mean, I don't want to get into the admin of it.
Here in the National Archives, they have copies of some that were sent to Harold Wilson in 1969 and 1970 while he was in power. In them, Prince Charles talks about the issue of salmon fishing and quotas. There are some tongue-in-cheek comments. For example, he says, "I shall attack you on the subject again."
That's not a tongue-in-cheek comment, that's just something with an exclamation mark after it. He's interested in weird stuff, isn't he? Well, not weird stuff, the sort of stuff I suppose you'd think a person who's lived their whole life in castles would feel, what the hell's going on with the salmon? Well, I don't know, but the NHS has just been slashed to ribbons. What's an intricacy?
Whatever they say, they hold a wider significance, representing that uneasy balance between a prince's privacy and the public's right to scrutinise the man who's preparing to be king.
I feel sorry for him because I think it's an antiquated role, it's an antiquated position, it's an antiquated means of communication, spirally inky letters. But the establishment is about tradition and antiquity. It's only preserved because it's supposed to be there. We've had a royal family for so long, it's on our money, we're constantly reminded. You think those things are stupid, don't you? I think those things are stupid, but they are incessant, constant reminders that we live within a hierarchy. And after the recent election, what I once or momentarily fleetingly regarded as a possibility for minor change for the poorest and most vulnerable people, I now see as an indefatigable force that is sort of draped under sort of a doily of tradition and antiquity, but is actually extremely powerful. It shows you the immovable nature of the establishment. When something important happens, like Scotland wants independence, Labour and Conservatives become one. When the Chilcot report comes out about misadventure and misbehaviour in Iraq, Labour and Conservatives become one. When it comes to protecting establishment figures and icons of the power structure of our country, Labour and Conservatives become one. The elected establishment has acted to protect the royal family. You're not even allowed to get within touching distance, even if it's about issues that aren't in themselves that contentious, because there is a certain immovable nucleus of power that we're not even allowed to discuss, that is not contacted or impacted through electoral politics, that is not in any way impacted through our will, and the only way it could be impacted, changed or altered is through wholesale, radical, grassroots, bottom-up change. True News, subscribe here. Politics, in a way, Nigel Farage was just like a sort of a extreme nationalist hen laying an egg of toxicity into the mind of the Conservative mainstream, and that's now hatched into a Michael Gove Justice Minister. Johnny Anonymous. Thousands marched in London on the weekend, yet the BBC